The morning sun painted golden stripes across the nursery walls. A lullaby hummed faintly from a forgotten baby toy. The soft scent of milk and powder floated in the air. Tiny socks hung from the edge of the crib. A small world of innocence outside. Birds sang gently, unaware of the storm that would soon rise inside. The baby cooed, smiling at the dangling mobile above. Its glass stars spun slowly, catching the light in bursts of rainbow, but beyond the glow, a pair of tired eyes watched coldly. The nanny, arms folded, exhaled in frustration. She had smiled politely when the parents left, promising care and kindness, but now, with the door shut, her smile was gone, replaced by bitterness. Her steps echoed sharply on the wooden floor as she paced back and forth. The child's cry pierced the air again, small yet sharp. The nanny flinched, her jaw tightening with every sound. She muttered under her breath, words too cruel for such a small room. Every hour. The same noise, she grumbled, shaking her head. The house felt smaller to her, suffocating. Endless, each cry felt like a reminder of her own resentment. Her heart, once warm, had turned into a cold, ticking clock of impatience. She looked around the quiet home, searching for escape in silence, but silence had its own witness. On the edge of the couch, a grey-striped cat stretched lazily. Its eyes flicked open, golden and knowing. It had seen kindness fade before. It had seen the smiles that hide cruelty. The cat blinked once, then twice, its ears twitching at every sound. It watched the nanny's every move like a secret guardian. The air felt strange, thick, heavy, warning. The nanny didn't notice. She picked up her phone, scrolling mindlessly, pretending not to hear the cries. The baby's voice cracked, desperate, calling for comfort. But instead of love, it met indifference. The cat stood slowly, stretching its back. Its tail brushed the floor with quiet authority. Something inside it stirred. Instinct, maybe destiny. The gentle hum of the morning was gone now. In its place came a stillness, the kind that comes before lightning, and in that stillness, two souls, one cruel, one pure, were about to collide. Neither knew that a small, silent watcher was ready to decide their fate. The baby's soft whimpers turned into a louder cry. Tears rolled down his tiny cheeks like pearls of pain. The nanny groaned, throwing her phone onto the table in frustration. "Can't you ever stay quiet?" she hissed, marching toward the crib with heavy steps. The baby looked up with watery eyes, arms reaching out for comfort, but instead of warmth, it met coldness. Enough already. The nanny shouted, her voice sliced through the peaceful morning air. The baby froze, his little lip trembling as he began to wail louder. Her hands clenched tightly at her sides. Anger burned through her. Ugly, uncontrollable. She slammed her palm on the crib's edge. The sound made the baby flinch in terror. But it also made something else move on the armchair. The cat's tail flicked, its golden eyes narrowed into slits. It had seen this before, and deep in its chest, a low growl began to form. A warning the nanny didn't yet understand. A storm was quietly gathering. The cat leapt silently down from the chair. Its paws landed softly, but its eyes were sharp as blades. The nanny turned, annoyed by the sudden movement. "What do you want, furball?" she muttered. The cat didn't move. It simply stared. Its ears were perked, body tense. It stood between her and the baby's crib. Something primal filled the air, a sense that this wasn't a pet. This was a guardian, The baby hiccuped, then cried again softly. The cat's gaze flickered toward him, then back at the nanny, as if saying, "Don't you dare!" But the nanny smirked cruelly. "Oh, please, what are you going to do? Scratch me?" She waved her hand dismissively. The cat's fur bristled. The growl deepened. No longer a warning. The nanny rolled her eyes, but behind her arrogance, a chill crawled down her spine. She didn't realize yet. She had just challenged something fearless minutes past, the tension thick like storm clouds before thunder. The baby's crying didn't stop. The nanny's patience snapped like a dry twig. She stormed toward the crib, snatching a small blanket with trembling hands. "I'll make you quiet," she spat, her anger drowning out reason. Her hand rose, trembling with rage. The baby whimpered helplessly, and that's when it happened. A sharp, guttural hiss sliced through the air. The cat sprang forward like lightning, its claws flashed in the dim light. It landed squarely between the nanny and the baby. She stumbled back. "Startled, what the—" she gasped. The cat's fur stood on end, tail puffed wide. It arched its back, growling like a beast defending its cub. Its eyes glowed like molten gold. Locked onto hers with unbreakable fury, the nanny froze, feeling an unfamiliar sensation. Fear. For a few tense seconds, neither moved. Only the baby's soft cries filled the room. Then, the nanny made a fatal mistake. She reached out to push the cat away. A blur of motion, a sudden swipe. Pain seared through her hand. She screamed, stumbling backward. Tiny red lines marked her skin. The cat stood firm, hissing louder than before. It wasn't just defending, it was warning. The baby quieted, sensing safety in the cat's presence. The nanny backed away. "Her breathing ragged and shaky, stupid animal," she shouted, but her voice cracked halfway through. Something about those eyes terrified her. The cat didn't chase, it just stayed there. Unblinking, unyielding, its message was clear. "Hurt the child, and you'll face me." It wasn't just a pet anymore, it was justice wrapped in fur. The cat turned its head slowly toward the crib. It meowed softly, the sound filled with warmth and comfort. The baby looked up, eyes wide and teary. The cat rubbed its head gently against the crib rail. The baby giggled faintly, the fear melting away like morning frost. Peace returned to the tiny room. But the nanny, she couldn't move. She watched the scene with trembling hands, the baby and the cat, a moment of love, and she stood outside of it, unwanted. Her anger turned to humiliation. Her pride broke under guilt's weight. The scratches on her hand stung, but her heart burned even worse. The first time, she felt what she had done, not with anger, but regret. The cat sat down again, eyes still watching her, calm but commanding. It didn't need to speak. Its silence was louder than any scream, and in that silence, she finally understood. Hours passed. The baby slept peacefully, the cat still beside the crib like a loyal knight. When the front door opened, the sound of familiar laughter filled the house. "Sweetheart, we're home," the mother called. The nanny forced a smile. Everything went fine, she lied, but the cat's ears perked up. It meowed loudly. Once, then again. The father frowned. "That's strange. He never does that." The mother approached the crib, smiling warmly. Her heart melted at the sight. The cat curled protectively beside her sleeping child. "That's adorable," she whispered, but her gaze shifted to the faint scratches on the nanny's hand. Her smile faded. "What happened?" "Oh, just the cat being wild," the nanny muttered. The cat's tail flicked sharply, its eyes narrowing as if saying, "Tell the truth." The parents exchanged a glance. Something didn't feel right, something unseen, but sensed. That night, after the nanny left, the father decided to check the nursery camera. Just a quick look, to ease the strange feeling in his chest. But what he saw froze his blood. The screen flickered, showing the nanny shouting. The raised hand, the cat's leap, the defense, every moment played like a silent film of truth. The mother's eyes filled with tears. She clutched her baby tightly, whispering, "My poor angel." The father clenched his fists. His voice trembled with rage. She was going to hurt him. The cat meowed softly, rubbing against his leg. It had done its duty. The truth was out. The nanny was called the next morning and never came back. Justice had been served, not by men, but by loyalty, wrapped in whiskers and courage. Spread quickly through the neighborhood. The story of the guardian. Cat warmed every heart. The parents couldn't stop thanking it. They bought it new toys, soft beds, and a small silver tag engraved with its name, Guardian of the Innocent. Every time the cat walked by, the baby giggled with pure joy. The bond between them grew deeper, stronger than words could ever express. The cat would nap near the crib every day, its eyes half closed but always alert. Sometimes at night it would climb beside the baby, wrapping itself close like a furry guardian angel. It had found its purpose, not as a pet, but as family, a protector, a silent hero. And it carried that duty proudly. The house, once filled with tension, now overflowed with peace and love, because one brave heart had refused to look away, Far away, the nanny sat alone. The scratches on her hand had healed, but the memory hadn't. Every night she heard that hiss in her dreams. Every morning she remembered those eyes, golden and merciless in their truth. She realized something she never understood before. Cruelty may seem powerful in silence, but kindness always finds a way to fight back. She whispered softly to herself, "I never deserved that child's trust." And she was right, because love, once betrayed, never forgets. She carried that guilt forever, a silent scar deeper than any scratch, but maybe, just maybe, that guilt made her a little more human. Some lessons are learned in pain, others in shame, and hers was taught by a creature of pure loyalty. Sometimes the truest love comes from those who cannot speak. The cat didn't need words. Its actions said everything. It stood up against cruelty. It faced danger without fear, and it protected what mattered most. In a world where many look away, this small heart chose to stand tall. The nanny forgot one thing: love always watches, and it never stays silent when innocence is in danger. The baby will never remember the day, but the cat will, forever. It proved that heroes don't need capes or voices. Sometimes all they need is courage and a heart big enough to fight for the helpless. Because love isn't just gentle, it's powerful. Night settled like a soft blanket over the quiet home. The baby slept soundly, breathing in tiny, peaceful sighs. Moonlight painted silver streaks across the floorboards. The cat sat by the crib, tail curled neatly around its paws. Its eyes shimmered faintly, half closed but ever watchful. Every few seconds, its ears twitched, alert even in calm. The gentle hum of the city outside faded into silence. Inside, peace reigned, like a soft lullaby made of trust. The parents sat close together, whispering gratitude. The mother brushed a tear from her cheek, smiling through emotion. "He saved our world," she murmured. The father nodded, voice trembling. "He didn't just guard, he understood." The cat purred quietly, as if acknowledging their words. That sound, soft, deep, alive, filled the room like warmth. It wasn't just a sound. It was a promise, a vow that love would never sleep again. The baby moved slightly, reaching one tiny hand toward the cat. Without hesitation, the cat leaned closer, pressing its head gently to the crib. It was a bond beyond language, a promise between souls. The baby smiled in its dreams, feeling the unseen protection nearby. The mother whispered, "Sometimes angels wear fur." The father chuckled softly, "And claws sharp enough to defend heaven." They laughed, but their eyes glistened with tears, because they knew what could have been, and what had been stopped. Some heroes fight with swords, but this one fought with heart. The scratches on the nanny's arm were scars of truth. Proof that love, when awakened, can become fierce. That day, cruelty met its match and lost. The world outside went on, unaware of the miracle inside these walls, but for this family, life had changed forever. They had witnessed silent courage, the kind that doesn't seek praise, just the safety of the ones it loves most. The cat yawned softly, curling near the baby once more. It closed its eyes, finally at peace. The moon slipped higher, bathing them in silver light, and as the clock ticked softly in the background, the parents whispered a final prayer of thanks. Not to luck, but to loyalty. Not to chance, but to love. Because sometimes love comes with claws to fight the darkness. Sometimes the bravest heart hides behind golden eyes, and sometimes salvation doesn't knock on the door, but it purrs by the crib. The rude nanny forgot the cat was there, but the cat never forgot its duty, for love doesn't sleep. It guards, it protects, it remembers. Always.